Jess Phillips, in all her infinite wisdom, was on LBC recently. Jess Phillips, sitting senior Labour MP, and she's been making waves for all the wrong reasons because she is now refusing to acknowledge the astounding differences, as many have pointed out, as we pointed out last time, between different peoples in rates of sexual crimes and how they view women and all of these things. And as you can imagine, her intersectional feminist framework had to drive her down the route of blaming the quote-unquote patriarchy, even though we live in the most egalitarian society that's ever been seen in Britain ever in history, right? Funnily enough, how with the rise of egalitarianism and feminism and all of these things, these problems have gotten a hell of a lot worse. Funny that. But the problem is always men. The problem is always the patriarchy. Nothing to do with how different cultures view women, religion, ethnicity. Nothing to do with any of this, right? IQ and all of these things. And she has refused to acknowledge it. She had to go back to, I know all perpetrators, or the majority of perpetrators, are men. So this is what she said on LBC. And you wonder why, for example, the victims of the rape gangs never get justice, because, again, she's trying to bank on these people whom she's trying to appeal to by not directly calling them out in this way for their vote at the next election. She's trying to cultivate the foreign voting bloc. We know that. We've known that for a long time now. And just think, we've got now potentially hundreds of thousands of people coming over bringing these barbaric ideas and disgusting ideology. And our politicians won't even acknowledge that that is potentially dangerous for us. Make no mistake, it is very dangerous. Here's Jess Phillips for you now.
Afghans are 20%, according to these numbers, 20 times more likely to account for sex offence convictions than British people. Does that concern you?
I mean, like, I have to look across all of this data and think about where I have to really focus and target resources on the prevention work that I am determined to do.
Do you think there are people in this country who have a culturally very, very different view of women and therefore are more likely to be engaged in these kinds of activities?
Which culture doesn't have patriarchy and misogyny in it? Because
there it is.
Do you think?
No, I mean, like I have seen victims and perpetrators from every single walk of life.
Do you think we are
never helped any, mind?
I tell you what
any.
the group of people who are most likely to abuse, that is men.
Afghans are 20%.
So that's what she had to say. Nothing on the fact that, for example, in the video we talked about last time with our brave allies from Afghanistan and people like that, where they loved to do heinous things to young boys, for example. Head of the police there that we discussed last time, what was his name? Something, I can't remember his name, and he said that if they don't fuck the asses of these young boys, what are they supposed to do? Fuck the pussies of their own grandmothers, and they're taking what they are owed. That's the attitude of a lot of people we now have coming across, and our politicians won't even acknowledge that. Tells you a lot about where their loyalties lie in this country. The politicians have long since forgotten about the needs of the British people and the sovereignty and safety of them. They only care about votes. They only care about securing some kind of re-election in this sham of democracy that we have in the UK. And as such, they will go to any length to obfuscate and to lie. This is an outright lie. Jess Phillips knows the truth. She knows that these people are incompatible with our civilization, with the ideologies and with the outlook they bring. She knows that. She won't say it, however, because it goes against this intersectional feminist, we are all the same, really. It's all men. It's not just these men. It's all men. When, as we'll see now, there's a certain subset of men that have just about had enough and are now starting to make their concerns known, should we say, and actually starting to take action against some of these perpetrators. And it should surprise you that, should surprise you none that the one obstacle seemingly to stand in their way, not even the perpetrators that are doing heinous crimes and shouldn't even be here, but is this ever suicidal white liberal female. We'll get onto that a little bit later. So she's getting rightfully pilloried for this. But again, these are the people that have the power to actually enact change. These people have tremendous dominion over all of our lives. Our say virtually means nothing now, as you know. Like, democracy has been shown to be a complete scam at least in the way that it's been implemented in the last, I suppose, 30, maybe even longer years, right? And we have problems going back nearly 100 years now that we really need to address. But our politicians have no interest in doing that because they know that they don't have a leg to stand on anymore. And that even if they were to go back and do this, even if they were to go back and enact positive change, the British people are angry. The British people are angry because they remember all the times they were gaslit. They remember all the times that they were told that they were far right. They were these horrible people for objecting to these crimes that were happening. They were lied to at every single turn. We don't forget all the times we were lambasted as far right, as Nazis, as all of this stuff for objecting to foreigners raping children, for example. We remember all this stuff. We remember how our political class gaslit us at every turn and made every single problem worse. So even if they do try to go back and fix it now, there's no necessarily way for them to guarantee that their own skin will be saved at the end of it when we do win. So again, they kind of have to go down this path now. Their fate is pretty much sealed. Okay, their fate is pretty much sealed. And with the way the country's going, I would urge them, if they haven't already, to start making some peace with the Almighty and start repenting in some serious ways. But to give you an example of some of the people, like we said before in the last episode, ladies and gentlemen, where these people are rampant pederasts and they have this horrible culture which our political class want to import simply because they're trying to back the foreign vote to get rid of our vote. Because think about it, if foreigners have more say than the British people do, the British people will never be able to get the system that they want, or the system that they want out of their lives, out of the way, democratically at least. These are kind of things that we're talking about here. So in Germany recently, this is something that made headwaves because it was published 2 days ago. An Afghan asylum seeker has murdered a 2-year-old boy. Now, we've just let, as I said, about 19,000 Afghan soldiers and about 6,000 of the relatives into the country. They might not all be in the country at the moment, but they're in the process. And some estimates even say that we could be importing about 150,000 of these people with all of their relatives and stuff like that. This is the report coming from, I'm not sure what the news station is, but this is what happened in Germany recently. Very, very, very sad.
In Germany, police have arrested an Afghan man over a fatal knife attack. The assailant killed 2 people, including a 2-year-old boy, in a public park in the central city of Aschaffenburg. 2 others have been hospitalized for injuries from the attack. Police have not discussed a possible motive. German media has reported that the suspect lived in an asylum center.
I got a few ideas. Lived in an asylum center.
It was in this park in the center of Aschaffenburg that the stabbings took place. A man armed with a kitchen knife attacked a group of kindergarten-aged children, apparently without warning.
In this attack, 2 persons were killed. Firstly, a 2-year-old boy of Moroccan background. The second person killed was a 41-year-old German passerby who happened to be passing the crime scene.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Within minutes, police arrested a 28-year-old Afghan man known to have been receiving treatment for psychological problems.
Why was he out? That's the next question. Not just the fact that why was he in the country in the first place? Okay, he's in the country, whatever. Why is he out roaming the streets when they know he's got fucking psychological problems? I would imagine one of the biggest psychological problems that any of these people could be afflicted with from the area of the world that they're coming from is Islam, obviously. But yeah, very, very sad that a 2-year-old boy has sadly lost his life alongside the 41-year-old German. I can't remember if they said that Jim was a man or a woman. I can't remember. But again, to deny this problem now is to deny that there's anything at the root of what's going on with this, and that it's just either freak accidents or just freak one-off occurrences. When we've seen that, the LBC anchor mentioned that, you know, these people are like 20 times more likely to commit certain crimes, such as sexual crimes and stuff like that, than the average British person. I don't want to hear any more talk of that we are the same or anything like that, and all peoples are alike. There's not to say that all humans don't have inherent human dignity and stuff like that, but there are responsibilities and outlooks and creeds and stuff like that come along with that make civilizations compatible and stuff like that. And these people are incompatible with our civilizations, and they shouldn't be here. This person, shouldn't have even been in the country. This is blood probably on Angela Merkel's hands, if anything. And again, tells you a lot that we have issues like this now when we never really had them before. And a lot of the political leaders that have, ruined many of the countries like Germany and seemingly with Italy now happen to be women. Ah, yes, because a feminist, female-empowered run society is so much better for people, isn't it, Phillips? So much fucking better. Yeah, the old oppressive system that we had before with stable families and 2-year-olds not getting murdered by foreign migrants. That was a little bit too much. That was a little bit too much, wasn't it? And to say that, again, there's no differences, ladies and gentlemen, I've covered before that it was in Austria, I think it was, or was it in France? It was either in Austria or in France, somewhere in Europe, that a young girl was murdered by her own father and brother in an Islamic honor killing. Well, this is not unique, ladies and gentlemen. There was another instance of this in, I believe this is Olympia, Washington. This is in America. And I mentioned there was another incident a couple of months ago of this sort of thing happening in America, that 2 fundamentalist Muslim migrants from Iraq are on trial in Olympia, Washington, over a horrific attack on their teen daughter outside Timberline, or Timberland, however you say it, high school last year. Prosecutors say Ihsan Ali and Zara Ali strangled the girl to try to kill her as revenge for rejecting their plan to marry her off to an older Muslim man in their home country. The girl's parents disapproved of her living an American lifestyle and having an American boyfriend. They allegedly hunted her down after she ran away the day she was supposed to fly to Iraq. Neither of the parents speak English, and both are being provided with an Arabic translator at trial, presumably at American taxpayer expense. Presumably. I'd be very fucking angry if that was the case, that not only do you have people committing attempted honor killings in the name of a foreign religion and foreign god on your soil in complete disregard for all your laws and customs, but they don't even know your language and are now getting an interpreter at taxpayer expense that you were paying for. I'd be very fucking angry. This is the footage, ladies and gentlemen. Rest assured, it would be very disturbing. It has been blurred. This is from Como News. So, this is the kind of stuff that Jess Phillips sees no inherent problem with this other than the 2 people are men.
A possible attempted honor killing, which shook the Timberline High School community, now on trial in Thurston County Superior Court. Prosecutors accuse both Ihsan and Zara Ali of choking their 17-year-old daughter outside the high school to the point where she couldn't breathe and lost consciousness. Part of the incident was caught on camera from a nearby bus.
Her eyes were rolling to the back of the head. You can tell she was not able to breathe. The look on his face and the way he was squeezing.
Evil.
He was choking her.
Court records state the victim's
Pure
father
fucking evil.
had previously
Filth.
threatened her with an honor killing for refusing an arranged marriage with an older man in another country. Several bystanders, including other students, the bus driver, and other adults passing through the area.
Anybody who says this to patriarchy,
from her father's grip.
I noticed her eyes.
just remember, before we finish off this clip, it has about 30 seconds left, just remember, don't have Islamic honor killings by British people in this country. You know, so to say that the issue is just solely men, you can categorically say that that is not true. Because not only there was seemingly a woman involved in this as well, the mother, right? And at least up until very recently with mass migration and stuff like that, you didn't see any of this stuff in the West. We never had problems with Islamic honor killings and stuff like that. So to say this is just a problem with men is very, very disingenuous and very, very disrespectful to not only this girl who luckily didn't lose her life, but all of the ones that have done in the name of these honor killings to this foreign god, which are blood on Jess Phillips's hands.
Father's grip.
Not directly, I should say. Not directly, obviously.
So
metaphorically.
So what I did is I grabbed his hand and I pulled it off, was able to spread his arms apart, and that's when she got free.
Other eyewitnesses described the chaos unfolding in front of the high school, with teens screaming.
Her eyes are rolling in the back of her head. She can't breathe. Someone call 911. Let go. Everyone seemed in a panic.
Now, I've trained jiu-jitsu, right? I trained jiu-jitsu for a long time. I haven't been back to training for a few months. I really do need to start going, but my fitness hasn't been the best. Now, being choked out is a very, in many ways, scary experience. You know, it's a very, very scary experience. Can I imagine what this girl was going through, especially with the way that it's not like a jiu-jitsu joke where you have somebody behind you and you end up going to sleep after a few seconds. With the improper technique and very likely just rage-fueled grabbing around the throat, sort of like this, right? Not like a clean, rear naked choke where the person goes to sleep in about 5 seconds. This would be absolutely terrifying. Especially when, again, man and woman were not the same. Man's going to be so much stronger for the most part, outside of, again, certain extenuating circumstances, certain particular individuals where you have very muscular, very strong women compared to the average man, right? But we never had this problem during a patriarchal Christian society. We never had these problems. So again, Jess Phillips blaming the patriarchy, the mythical patriarchy construct, very, very disingenuous and dangerous. And again, making the case for the especially liberal females should never be in politics. It's as simple as that. You make the case that liberals shouldn't be in politics anyway, but at the very least, liberal females not doing the history of the women's suffrage movement and all of these brave suffragettes and everything like that, justice with the way that they've run our societies and with the way they continue to obfuscate and to not say the truth because they might, they might offend people, or they're more emotionally wired rather than logically wired. Seems that we're seeing that in Italy at the moment, where people are not happy with Giorgia Meloni, because I think she's been given the green lit for about 500,000 applicants from, again, Asia and Middle East and stuff like that, when she was trying to market herself as one of these right-wing populist leaders. And seems that she was very much a wolf in sheep's clothing as well. But we shall see. More instances, ladies and gentlemen. Last night, this was posted on the 17th, so this would have been 2 nights ago. In Windsor, an inebriated girl was by the river. She was surrounded by Asian migrants who requested she took her clothes off and then became naked. A person posting this, this is David Atherton posting this, and then one of his followers referenced the story. I believe they were there, saying, "My daughter's friends came across a young teenage girl who was clearly distressed and intoxicated naked teenager. She was surrounded by 3 to 4 migrant men who I guess are from the local hotel," shocker there, "as they are there every day. They had removed all of the poor girl's clothes and were walking her off somewhere further down the river." You don't need to, it's not racist to point out what these boys were likely planning. This is why I suggested, as I'll read to you in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, this is why generations need to be remigrated, because these boys are just school kids themselves, about 15 to 16 years old. And despite this, I believe I might have got that slightly wrong, actually. I can't remember, I don't know if this part is actually talking about the boys harassing her were 15 to 16, or if the friends who came across the young girl and actually helped her are 15 to 16. I think I might have got that slightly wrong, actually, when I posted about this. So good thing I'm able to actually correct this now. It seems, ladies and gentlemen, I might have got it slightly wrong if you see my post on X, where I said generations need to be migrated. I thought the people harassing this girl, the 3 to 4 migrants, were 15 to 16 when I read this. I might have misread it. So the boys who intervened, I believe it is, are just 15 to 16 years old themselves. Despite this, they intervened and managed to get her away. She was visibly upset, and the men initially objected before finally leaving her alone. This happened less than 100 meters from Windsor Castle, King Charles's doorstep. And funnily enough, these places all have big fuck-off fences around them, right? We're not allowed big fuck-off fences. We're not even allowed bloody homes and rooms in which we don't have to have these people in our communities. No, we can't have that. We can't have security, but obviously all the politicians and the important people do. If girls aren't safe in a place crawling with royal protection and officers, where are they safe? Exactly. So this is the video from this, ladies and gentlemen, where these boys intervened. So this is what was happening. I believe this is after they realized what was going on. And now, as you can see, I presume this is the girl here is now fully clothed again. But make no mistake, you don't need to be a rocket scientist, and you're not racist if you point out what these men were going to do. It's a pattern. It's just pattern recognition at this point. And pattern recognition is essential for survival. Apologies for the very poor audio quality as well. It's just the video itself.
What's he doing? Yeah? What do you mean, what's our problem? What are you on about? Why are you allowing this? Why are you allowing this?
He's saying, why are you allowing this?
I'm talking to you, hello, why are you allowing this? Do you see what's going on and you're allowing this? What are you doing?
You see what's going on, you're allowing this, what are you doing? Why are you here?
Why I'm not coming? I'm feeling the bug.
Why are you here?
Why I'm not
allowing this shit, bro? He just asked you.
Mm-hmm.
What did I do? You
don't even
It's normal for them.
Fucking idiot.
You fucking idiot.
What? Huh?
Who
the fuck are you talking to?
Oh, it's not worth it.
Who the fuck are you talking to, bro?
Why?
People are angry, and rightfully so.
Because why are you allowing this? Why? Shush, no, shush. Walk away. Just walk away. No, walk away. Bro, just walk away.
So again, I'm gonna, because again, the lighting is not great. This is obviously quite late at night. So the boys then, good men, good young men, by the seams of it, saw what was going on, so they weren't going to stand for it, putting themselves in great danger. They don't know if these men are armed. These men could have knives. These men could even have guns. We've seen plenty of examples. For example, there was a guy that had an AK-47 and was brandishing it on camera. I covered it a couple of months ago, saying that he was going to kill Tommy Robinson. So again, we know that these people within our country, these criminals, because they're criminals from day one, because they come across and invaded the country illegally. Illegal entry to a country is a crime. So I'm sorry, they're criminals from day one. So anybody says, but they didn't commit any crimes, they just came here. No, illegal entry is a crime in and of itself. Then, more often than not, they're going to be armed in some way. The government wants to take away your little swords, which you might want to have on your mantelpiece, a cool katana, which you just have on your mantelpiece as like a decorative piece, right? They're now saying we need to blunt the ends of knives to help fight knife crime. Sooner or later, they'll just be telling all men to cut off their dicks to fight rape, right? Aside from the migrant men, obviously. They would never dream of that. Although they might give them taxpayer-funded trans surgeries if they wanted them. So I can't lost my train of thought there for a minute now. The young boys putting themselves at great risk of harm and death to do this. I'm not sure how many of them there were. Obviously, 3 to 4 would-be attackers, so it presumably would be just a 1-to-1 ratio. And the 15 to 16. Takes a lot of courage to do that. These boys should be commended for what they've done here. Very, very good men. And it seems that the hard times are going through are breeding very good, strong men. And there's another one here, example, ladies and gentlemen, of just to highlight this now before we get into the next part involving the instances that happened recently in Epping. We have 2 things to go through now. If you're wondering, again, these people, they're not compatible with ours. It's not even just working class people that are in danger. You have a Harry Potter actress's brother has just been jailed, or it's not just been jailed, this is actually from 14 years ago. I've only just seen the date of it now. A Harry Potter actress's brother was jailed for attacking her. So this is involving a lady, I believe, known as Afshan Azad. And she had fled the family home the day before the attack because she was assaulted by her brother because her boyfriend was not Muslim, and he was jailed only for 6 months. He was only jailed for 6 months. It's obviously from a little while ago. Manchester Crown Court at this time heard that Ashraf Azad launched a prolonged and nasty attack on Afshan Azad, who played Padma Patil in the Harry Potter films. She was punched repeatedly and dragged by her hair after being overheard talking to her Hindi boyfriend, or Hindu boyfriend, however you say it. I believe Hindi is the language, isn't it? Mr. Azad, 28, pleaded guilty to assault occasioning actual bodily harm. The court previously heard on Ms. Azad, who was 22 at the time, was branded a quote-unquote prostitute and quote-unquote slag, and was told, quote, marry a Muslim or you die. That is what she was told. Now, this is the gentleman in question. It's from the BBC article. So this is the gentleman in question. This is who it was. As you can see there, it says at the top there, the court previously heard, in fact, I will just move it up a little bit. The court previously heard how Miss Azad, 22, was branded a quote-unquote prostitute and quote-unquote slag and was told, quote, marry a Muslim or you die. Is it any wonder, ladies and gentlemen, how you could get these people who would then call young British girls who they were grooming and sexually abusing and torturing white slags? And they openly call it to their own girls? So yeah, not in any way compatible with our civilization. The sad thing is the actress pleaded with the court not to jail her older brother. So again, it's not hard to understand why that is, because if she was to then turn against her family, the punishment would be even worse again. I'm not sure what happened after this. Good thing is that the judge at this instance actually did say there were no good or proper reasons to suspend a sentence, because this country seems to want to give criminals, heinous criminals, leniency at every single term, particularly if they are of a minority race or ethnic or religious characteristic. But again, last point now of why we do need to be concerned with the culture and the ideology and everything that these people are bringing, and that it's not compatible with our civilization, is what's going on with the Druze at the moment in Syria. So Giuliani, the new leader of Syria, who Macron and all of the other traitorous leaders in these countries that we call home, yeah, I suppose all of us call home, speaking as like a collective of like a, you know, European ethnic groups and stuff like that. Obviously, we don't all call all of the countries home. Poles call the Poles home. Poles call Poland home. Welsh call Wales home. I'm getting tripped over my words now trying to explain this. Anyway, one of Giuliani's fighters has videoed this, and it's really, really sad to see. This is just a video that's going to upset you more than anything, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very upsetting video. They're persecuting the Druze and Christians in Syria at the moment, and it's not getting anywhere near enough attention for all of the Christian, quote-unquote Catholic, commentators that want to talk about the atrocities that are happening, quote-unquote atrocities that are happening because of Israel and stuff like that. And I have got one to talk about at the end of this episode. It was very sad. A church in Gaza, but it was a Catholic church in Gaza, was attacked, and the cardinals and the religious officials there, Christian religious officials there, 3 people did lose their lives, and they are actually saying that they think it's an intentional attack by the IDF. We'll get onto that. This is the last thing to talk about today, so stay tuned for that. But he says, "What are you?" And the man replied, "I'm a Druze." And he started ripping out his mustache and slapped him across the face, saying, "You are a pig." And the reason they do that is because I believe it's in the different cultures. The Druze, I believe it is, see, like the mustache as like a sign of pride, I believe it is, or that makes them distinct from them, from any others, right? And the Muslims, the radical Muslims that have come in place, they obviously put a lot of emphasis on the beard rather than the mustache. So this is their way within their culture of really, really denigrating them and really trying to hit them where it hurts, right? And that's why you see this now, pulling out his mustache and slapping him. Just be warned, gentlemen, this video is very upsetting, and should make you very angry then when you hear Jess Phillips say that, oh, there's no differences, it's just all men, it's all the patriarchy. So I'm trying to tuck this little bit of annoying hair up into my headphones. It's all men, it's all the patriarchy. No.
شو هارب علينا؟ شنو انت؟ شنو انت؟ شنو انت؟
Awful.
خنزير انت؟ شنو انت؟ شو هارب علينا؟
Satan is truly a wicked and evil spirit. Satan is truly a wicked and evil spirit. He has such a strong grip on this world at the moment, but I am hoping that is slowly coming to an end, and I think it is, with how much it's accelerated in the last 5 years. And there certainly is a bit of a revival going on. It's starting off slow, but there is a bit of a revival going on, and that's brought me onto one thing I want to go on to before we finish up this episode. It's not in my notes, but it's one thing I do want to highlight. That there is a return to form coming.